What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
No, I did it one time when it was like 30 minutes, and I was like, that's it, I'm done.
I used to host a Patriots pod, Locked On Patriots. We had to do it every day, like 5 days a week.
My goodness.
And it was by myself. And after like 2 years, I was like, I can't do this anymore. No. It's like one thing when it's like Tuesday in the NFL season, like you got stuff to talk about. What are you going to talk about a Wednesday in July, like before training camp? And what am I like? I did a whole week of Toto, like the band. Like I literally did like a week of Locked On Toto because like what else are you going to talk about? And it was just me. It drove myself insane. Yeah,
that's what I was like. I can figure out two guests. I was like, I have Mark this week, and then Tasia's going to join me next week for a Baku.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that'll be fine. She's easy to talk to anyway. So, but yeah. Hello, everyone. I don't know what episode number this is. Owen keeps doing it. I don't do this anymore. Episode 125. We're on 125 of Underground Circuit. As you can see, Owen's not here. We teased it, but we got Mark Schofield here to join us this week. As always, we're going to have a fun episode. We're going to do some predictions at the end of the episode.
No, that's the best way to do it. Do the predictions at the end of the race. Be like, see, I told you that he was going to win. I was right. Never wrong, just early.
Yeah, right before it ends. If it's like a 30-second gap, you're like, I'm predicting he's going to win. And then,
like Monza. Like, I said Max was going to win.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Right.
So, we're going to do that. I don't know how there's only 8 races left, and I have a feeling they're going to fly by. We're in a blink, and Abu Dhabi's going to be here.
Nice pun there, because we are in the flyaway portion of the schedule, as they keep telling us, like the flyaways. It's like, it's nice to hear flyaways. It's like you're coming to us. Like, you're coming to Austin. Like, we get it. You don't want to be here.
I was like, literally, when we were talking to the arcade recently, I was like, well, the good times are coming. But then I was like, but let me look at the Eagles schedule because I don't want to be driving down to the arcade in the city while the Eagles are playing at home. But
this week's tough, right? Because it's like 7 a.m.
Yeah, this week's
and
rough.
And then it rolls right into the NFL Sunday. Like this, Azerbaijan is like one of the, not to make this the Mark Schofield podcast, but Azerbaijan is one of the toughest Sundays for me because it's like 7 a.m. race. You get done with the F1 stuff at like 11 and 11:30, and it's like, oh, no, I start my NFL day. And it's like another 12 hours of NFL stuff. And then it's like, all right, well, guess I'm starting the work week.
Lock it. Sweet. I always forget how early Baku is for some reason. I always think it's like the 9 o'clock slot, and then I was looking at the schedule, and I was like, why is FP1 at 4:30 in the morning? And FP3, I was like, that's ridiculous.
You're on your own for that one, friends.
Yeah.
You're not getting any live commentary from me from FP1.
You're like, I'll see you at qualifying.
Yeah, see you at qualifying.
But yes, we're going to we'd ask some threads about any upcoming storylines that I think there's some that we kind of know the answers to already, but there's other maybe ones we can speculate. But we can start off because we did have some news break today about the start times for next year. Speaking of start times and the sprint races for next year. I'm here for China, Miami, Canada, Silverstone, and Zandvoort. Singapore, I feel like it's going to be so hard.
I feel like that is almost unfair to these drivers and team members. Like, I mean, because I remember, you mentioned Miami. Being in the media pen, my first Miami race, and seeing Fernando, because you were there too. I saw Fernando walk by me, and he looked like he had just run a marathon. And he's got the ice vest on and everything. That's Miami. Singapore is different. Like, I mean, we all saw on Drive to Survive, like Russell after that race, like basically went into physical shock. To do a sprint race and then turn right around and do another race, to have like the 2 different quali sessions, like that's a lot of meaningful time in the car. It's not like, okay, you got 3 practice sessions, you could spread it out a little bit.
Exactly.
Come back in the garage. You could, like, I feel like that's asking a lot for these drivers, right? Like,
I agree, and especially because like it's so hot when it's the night race and there's no sun. The sprint race is going to have a little bit of daylight going on, so it's going to be even hotter. Yeah, it's going to be, it's worrisome because, like you said, the way they talk about, was it Singapore? Maybe it was Qatar a few years ago. Like Logan was like throwing up in his car. Or
That was
Ocon was
Qatar,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
atmosphere. It's the same sort of set of conditions, and to go through 2 qualies, a sprint race, Grand Prix, that's a lot. Like and it doesn't it seem though like we're gonna get a schedule in the next 3 years, 4 years that's got 12 sprint races.
Yeah.
Like it does, like Luke Smith wrote about it, other people wrote about it. It feels like they're like, okay, don't call it, like Stefano's talking about like shorter races. He's talking about all this different stuff to keep it. Like, I feel like we're gearing up for like, okay, in the 2028 season, you're going to get 13 sprint races.
Yeah. That's when I've
I don't know how I feel.
I got to go.
Yeah, that's what Max is like, you know,
Pack it up.
UNDRGRND, like that's where I'm going now. Like I just got my Class A permit for it. I'm out.
Yeah, we were joking around last week because with Stefano being like, we want the race shorter, and then you have Monza, who is the fastest race in history, and I'm like, that's not the time, guys. Don't do this to us. Yeah, no, I don't mind sprint races, but I feel like 12 is a little much. Yeah. It's a little much.
I mean,
it's not F2 for like a reason.
Right. And talk about reverse grids and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, if you want to go 6 to 8, okay. I could get on board with that. 12 seems like it'd be a little much. 13, something crazy like that. But who knows?
I saw someone today, I think it was on Threads. I mean, it was probably on Threads. Someone said they should ask the drivers to like vote on where they would want sprint races. And honestly, I feel like, because like obviously we don't have Coda, we don't have Brazil, and they do give us some intense sprint races. I mean, Miami's a good sprint race. I've enjoyed the past 2 years of their sprint races.
Yeah.
Well, this year it was raining beforehand, so it was like a give or take. It was fun. Yeah.
We had another reason why you probably didn't enjoy it.
No, yeah.
I mean,
Listen, I want to test out my theory one more time. If we if we end up at Coda or Vegas and I step foot and it's FP1 and Charles crashes out in FP1, I'm like,
you're just gonna get back on a plane?
Anymore. Yeah, every time. Miami last year we got off the bus, red flag. Miami sprint race this year in the wall as I'm sitting down, and then Canada this past year FP1 he's in the wall, and I'm like, oh, what's happening? And then didn't even come out for FP2. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Can't do it anymore.
No, but yeah, I'm excited for sprint racing in Canada. Now being and seeing that track in person, I feel like that place will love a good sprint race. And that track is fun as well. Yeah. So
I think that will work for it. But I'm as soon as I saw Singapore, I'm like, they are not going to like. And I really like your idea of letting the drivers chime in.
Yeah, I thought that was a good.
I think that's a good idea.
Especially because like they're going to pick the tracks that they enjoy, especially if they want to add up to 12 a season. You're slim pickings because a lot of the tracks you can't overtake. So you're not going to have a sprint race in Monaco.
Yeah, Monaco with a sprint race would be hilarious. Unless you do it like with carts. Like do it with carts. Right? That would be tremendous.
Actually, bring the Lego cars back and do a sprint race. That's how you can get them to do more sprint races.
Oh, that would be great too.
That'd be so cool. That's the one thing I'm pissed I didn't get to see in person in Miami because I obviously came home Sunday. But seeing the Lego cars even on, like, because I walked by them and they were sick, but like you could tell the drivers absolutely loved.
Like, even the ones that were like livid with how they did in the race, like Hajar was like so upset finishing 11th, but he could ask a question about it. He was like so excited to talk about it. I talked to Alba later that week, and he was like so excited about it. Like they absolutely loved it. Like they were. I haven't seen Max smile like that. Before a race, like, and I kept thinking of, remember the first Miami race where they had those like NFL style introductions?
Yes.
Cool J and Max was literally like, I
hated
it, absolutely despised it. And then to see him in Miami Prius, the smile like that, it was incredible. It was great. Drivers loved it. Everybody loved it.
I was gonna say, even Alonso was having a good time. So like, I feel like if you impressed him, that's No, and I liked how even they're bringing them to other races, I believe, but like the cars are still damaged, which I do love.
Yeah.
They didn't touch up the cars. Like you can see where they took the front wing off, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was one thing. I was mad I didn't see in person. We also got more schedule news because IndyCar also released their schedule today. I don't have it up, but I'm praying one day that the Northeast gets a dang race back.
Right?
I would love to have one
Right.
so bad. I mean, you're not far, so like literally where we're at, you have Pocono, you have Dover, you have Watkins Glen, you have so many decent tracks not that far away. I mean the
it
DC
came out, and
one they
again,
were
I'm like,
rumored too.
maybe I'll get to Mid-Ohio, like
Yeah.
4th of July in Mid-Ohio. Like that screams
Fine.
Americana right there.
Yeah,
Kind of
it
like
does.
that. But yeah, I mean, it'd be great to get something in the Northeast.
Yeah. I would love to get something. It's literally, when you look at the map, it's the one spot that has nothing.
Yeah. But
I do also like that it's not Nashville ending this season.
yeah,
that
is
race,
nice.
But
I mean,
yeah.
to end it there in Monterey, I think is a nice little way to finish the season. And obviously there's the Memorial Day adjustment of the Canadian Grand Prix
true.
with the 500. I think that's nice. It is going to be weird not to have Monaco that day. Like
yeah, very.
I think that's going to take an adjustment, like for people, because it was such a great thing. You get Monaco into Indy into Coca-Cola 600, like just such a great day. But maybe that works. Maybe that gets some more eyeballs on the Canadian Grand Prix.
True. I just worried about the weather for the Canadian Grand Prix, and well, it is Memorial Day weekend, so it's not that early in the year or in May.
Right.
But yeah, no, it is going to be so weird, especially because, like you said, Monaco and going right into the Indy 500, it's like two of the crown jewels right then and there, the same day, double feature. Like I watched it at Owen's house that day, and we turned off Monaco and went right into Indy 500 pre-show stuff, and I was like, yeah, this works so well. But I did see today, I forget who posted it. Where did it go? Oh, Will Buxton posted it tonight, so that this year. With Nashville, the Nashville race is on July 19th. Immediately following that will be the World Cup, or it immediately follows the World Cup final, which was great. So we go Spa, World Cup final, Nashville, and
that's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a good day because Fox has the World Cup, right?
Yeah, that's what he put on. Everything's on Fox, so they got the World Cup and Nashville. So, and if Nashville's anything like this year, that's a good.
Right.
That'll be a good race.
That'll be good for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Our hope is to get to an oval next year. We would love to get to an oval. Definitely St. Pete. St. Pete's definitely on our list to get to again.
You love St. Pete, right?
I love St. Pete. St. Pete, as my first ever motorsport experience, like in person, live, so damn cool. And then going last year with the media pass, being able to interview drivers and taking it in from that side of things, so it's so cool. So being able, and I always say it, the price point, even if I was just going as a fan, I would immediately, because flights aren't that expensive, especially at the time of the year. Like the Phillies play spring training literally the town over. So there's so many flights coming from here to St. Petersburg, and then being able to walk in the pit lane, up and down the pit lane, walking on the grid, like before the race, that's just, you have to be an A-list celebrity to get that's fun.
Yeah.
Or doing your own grid walk for Sky and F1 TV. I absolutely love St. Pete, but as we said, definitely St. Pete this year, and then maybe next year we'll try the one in Arlington, because that one looks really cool as well.
It does look really cool. That's a really cool layout.
Yeah, especially around the stadiums, it's gonna be, I mean, I know they'll do a great job down, like, with that whole area, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yes, love St. Pete. Except for when you just get sunburned and it's 85 degrees at the end of February, and you're like,
well, yeah, there is that. And then you come back home to the Northeast where it's not 85 degrees, and people are like, what happened to you? Yeah.
Get sunburned, don't worry. But yes. Moving on. I think that was all the news that broke.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get anything crazy, just some scheduling stuff. Driver stuff on the F1 side seems to be in a holding pattern, I guess.
Yeah.
as we wait for Mercedes
Yes.
to make up their mind?
True. Mercedes make up their mind, and there's obviously some stuff's heating up with Isaac to Red Bull is picking up some more steam, but
Yeah,
you don't have to say much. It's okay.
don't do this to my boy.
I know.
Don't do this to my boy.
I know.
I'm so worried. Like, he's earned it, I think, but there's earned it, and then do you want that? Like, I think those are two different conversations. I mean, I think the one conversation is pretty easy. Like, yeah, he's been very impressive, and I think you can make a very strong case he's earned a spot at the senior team.
But
now maybe it's different. Now maybe it's different under Lauren, right? Like maybe it's not the way it was under Horner, where it's like we have a top driver. Like maybe they're going to go down a different path. I don't know. That's just pure speculation, but maybe it's possible, right?
Yeah, I was talking about that exact thing with someone on Threads yesterday. Yesterday. Basically, I was like, I'm looking at it. There is a new team principal, and he is getting decent praise from both Max and Helmut Marko. I've seen it's the first car, new regs, first car not under Newey completely, probably, because I'm sure Newey had a lot of hand in this one. And then that whole thing with them not relying on the sim information as much as before. So there's there's a little doubt. Actually, there's a lot of doubt, but there's this little thing of hope that I'm like, maybe it actually would be a good fit.
Maybe it would work. Maybe it would click. But yeah, it's just the pattern and the history gives me such pause that it would be like, the Red Bull second seat of death, the death spiral. Like, whatever catchphrase we've used on the outside to describe that second seat, that it would happen to him, and it would be a shame. Because he's shown that he's got the talent, the speed, the resiliency. I mean, again, we've talked about it, right? Like, with the way things started in Australia to get to this point where it's like, yeah, he's probably earned a spot at Red Bull. If you would have told me that, 2 laps into the Australian Grand Prix, 2 laps into the season, I said, no, probably not. Doesn't look like
too soon. Yeah.
Too soon. Might need some seasoning. Now it's like, yeah, he's earned it, but I don't know if it's the best move for him.
Yeah. It's like, someone's like, do you just do another season under the Racing Bulls just to get your another full second if I could speak of second full season of experience before moving on? But I also think I do like that he's worked with Laurent McKees. It was for a short amount of time, but barely. No one really worked with Christian Horner when they went up, and then I feel like so maybe that's also, but it'll be interesting to.
Yeah, and I guess if you're Red Bull, you could make an argument that, look, we know what we have in Yuki. Like, maybe it's not going to work. So, yes, it's a new year, new regs, big changes, but we'll get him in, and we'll see how this first season goes. And if we get a 12 sprint race schedule or whatever, now he's got a year in our machinery with our team if Max decides to go do something else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then it just votes question, because it looks like it's going to be Yuki that's not going to have the seat. So I don't want to lose Yuki.
I don't want to lose Yuki, but I mean, we've talked. I think we've talked about this where he goes to Aston Martin, follows Honda to be a reserve, and then he ends up in an Adrian Newey designed Aston Martin when either Alonso retires or Lance Stroll steps away or whatever. That's your path to Yuki Tsunoda, constructors champion. Like there is that world where Yuki slided over to Aston Martin, ends up a champion in the sport.
Yeah,
it's possible.
True. It is. Could you imagine? The whiplash would be insane.
Yeah. I mean, but
I very quickly today saw him to Alpine, and I was like, wait. It was like one thing. I think it was a very baseless, there was nothing to go to the rumor, with the rumor, but I saw it and I was like, I don't know if I like that. I wish Pierre would get out of Alpine, but that's not happening now.
No, it's not happening now. I mean,
no.
I made the case earlier. He might be the most impressive driver of the season to get any points in that thing, let alone all of his team's points in that thing. But I mean, they've pretty much waved the white flag. I don't know.
Yeah.
May they were like, all right, we're all in on 26 anyway. So I don't know. I don't know what Alpine's going to do for that second seat.
Yeah. I feel like when they brought Franco in, they're like, okay, we're going to next year. We're not going to really focus on this year. We're just moving on. But, okay. We'll go into the next topic. It's, like we said, the next 8 races, what storylines could happen, could come up. I have some written down. Some people gave us some on Threads. I messaged Frey because I realized she was being too quiet on Threads, and I was like, I know you're going to have some, so give me your storylines. And she had a ton. So my first one that I put up, does Lewis continue to struggle, or does it finally turn around? Let me just start off with the bang.
Man, I want to say that he turns around. I really, really, really do, but it just hasn't clicked yet. And I really thought in the back of my mind, him winning at Monza, it was going to happen, right? It was going to happen.
No.
Like Lewis winning at Monza was going to hit like nothing had ever hit in recent memory.
Mm-hmm.
And it obviously didn't happen.
Especially when he came out for FP1 and was like flying. I was like, oh, this is gonna happen. I was like, he's got it. He's got to figure it out. And then,
with the two of them up at the top at FP1, I was like, oh my God, it's actually.
Oh, I was celebrating already.
Yeah. And then it did.
No.
Unfortunately, I think he just continues to struggle. Doesn't it seem that way? Like it just hasn't clicked now, and we're deep into the season. I don't see them like turning around enough for him to win. Now, a podium, maybe. Like things happen. Azerbaijan could happen. I mean, all the drivers have already said it. Like Pierre was saying it in their preview. Like, Azerbaijan stuff happens. If he's up in the middle of the top 10 and you get an accident in front like last year with Checo and Carlos, like suddenly you're on the podium. So a podium could happen. I don't know at this point, given everything else that's happening around the sport, if he could win, right? Like that's too tough.
No, at this point, I think the win is shooting for the moon and maybe being a little bit hopeful, but I would hope for at least I would pray for a podium. I mean, even going back to China when he had with the sprint, like I was like, oh, he's settling in. This is great. It's going to click early, and then it just continued to drop off, I feel like. But at the same time, I'm like, just take this year as the L and learn as much as you can, especially the inside of Ferrari and learning that, and then come back next year and
that's the weird thing about this entire season is the in the back of everybody's mind, it's like, well, this year's a write-off anyway. Like McLaren was running away with it. We kind of figured they were going to run away with it. We got the new regs coming in next year. Everything changes. And I mean, I remember talking to Oliver Oakes in Austin last year, and he was basically like, look, 26 is the ball game here. Like if you get it right out of the gate, you could have a run like Mercedes did, like Red Bull did, like in these periods with new regulations. So every team, and perhaps including Ferrari, was probably like, let's just make sure we've got everything in place so that 26 would be great. Like they didn't bring Lewis in for 26. They brought him in for 25.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's also painful to see because it's Lewis Hamilton, so you know what he's capable of. But I'm hoping they just, I don't know, because there are some decent tracks coming up where they are decent, okay. Like this weekend could be a decent one for Ferrari. I feel like Vegas, they have
Vegas
could be a surprise. Good. I mean, Lewis in Brazil is always a show, so but
you get weather, Lewis in the rain, Lewis in the wet. Like there's always that. I mean, look, Singapore. I mean, a couple years ago, Carlos won at Singapore. Like there will be some tracks that are or have been good for them. There's some opportunities that have been where Lewis has been good. It's just when you start going down the road of, okay, you need things to break their way, or you need weather, or maybe this track will be good for their car. Like, it's not like we're just saying, look, Lewis is great right now. Like, Lewis is in top form. He's consistently at the front of the field. He's consistently in Q3 near the front. Like, that's one thing, but that's not what it's been. It's been, so now we're left with, okay, well, maybe this track will work for them, or maybe we'll get something that happens, some chaos in Azerbaijan this weekend, or who knows what. Like, that's the difference in where we are with Lewis right now. It's just, it's not working the way Ferrari fans would have liked. But again, it's 25, not 26. let's see what it looks like next year.
Yeah, and like you said, anything's up for grabs next year.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll be chaotic, especially to start. That goes into actually a question that came from Frey. Mercedes, do you think they're fully focused on 2026? Because they kind of had, especially like George and Kimi, they kind of started out okay. I mean, George snuck onto the podium a few times. You blink and you're like, how is he P3? But yeah, I feel like recently, especially tracks like the weather, it's like you think the perfect weather for them, and they're nowhere to be seen. It is a little, I feel like not alarming, but it does make me think they've maybe fully focused on next year.
And Toto kind of said that in recent weeks. Just like, look, we're not going to have big upgrades. We're done with aerodynamic upgrades, with things like that. And I think there was also the element of 1-year deal, 25 for both drivers, just to make sure that, okay, like it's not a disaster with one or both of them. I obviously think they're going to bring both back. I don't know what the contracts will look like. I don't know if it'll be like a 1+1 or a multi-year or however they're going to do it for them. And of course, now we got the Max in 26 thing that's sort of lingering out
His
there.
favorite person.
Again, like, not to like bring up the NFL, but it's like feels like Aaron Rodgers, right? Every year, like, what is Aaron Rodgers going to do? Like, well, the F1 version of that is what is Max going to do? So we get another year,
Max? Yeah.
Which, yay.
Well,
but
since we have Max
do
and Toto on each other's yachts in summer break,
right?
Don't lie now. We have photo proof.
And people tracking planes. Like, I love that. Like, you see it in college football here all the time, like tracking coaches when they're flying during hiring season. But now seeing it on the F1 side is great too. But yeah, I think they're really focused on 26 again. Like, I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but 1-year deals for both drivers. They pretty much slowed down the upgrades. Their eyes are on 26. They'll bring both back. And then if it doesn't work next year for one or both, maybe they'll have an out to lure somebody to Brackley.
I like it. Were you, I'm going off topic, but I'm going back to Monza. Toto's comments on Kimi post, they were, I want to say they were surprising, because it's not like he has had moments, but he's not to bring them up, but he's not like Logan Sargent, Nicholas Latifi, who's crashing literally every single race and costing millions of dollars in damage. But I guess when you're Kimi Antonelli, you're coined as like the next Max Verstappen. Your expectations are very high.
It was surprising to see him so just so open about it. Like, Toto's very open to begin with about big picture things, contracts, rules, penalties, things like that. Driver performance, usually like we'll find the good, find the positives. Like, if you think about, obviously it's not the same situation, but Lewis right before the break saying, I hope I'm coming back and all that stuff. And you heard, Toto come to his defense. Obviously there's a long relationship there in a history, but he wasn't saying, Lewis is totally, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if we'll see him again. No, he came to his defense. Former driver, Ferrari driver now.
Yeah.
But to hear him come out and say, look, underwhelming, can't find the ground, like to be that pointed. I read it like, and I'm curious what you think, but I read it as a like, look, we still believe in him. We still believe he's the next Max. Like, we got him in the car because of that reason. He's still fast. We still believe, and we believe he's going to get there. But we need to kick this kid in the pants a little bit. Like, since that podium, results haven't been great, right? Like, 2 points finishes, a bunch of the out of the points, DNF in there. Like, it hasn't been great. And now you, again, at your home race, like he had the incident last year, he was running in practice, puts out a great first lap, and then finds the barrier.
Nasty crash,
finds the gravel, misses it basically an entire practice session. He's just trying to light a fire in him, say, look, we believe in you, but you can't do that. Like, you've got to build it up throughout the weekend better. So that's my take of it. Like, do you see it the same way? Are you genuinely worried now? Do you think Toto's going to be like, do you think we'll get a shock and suddenly he's like, you know what?
He's done. Yeah.
He's done?
I think I was shocked to see those comments because, like you said, Toto's never really been that outspoken and vocal when something towards a driver like that. Like you said, with Lewis last year when he was also struggling during the season, he was never like, well, he's underwhelming. As the 7-time champion,
Right.
he should be getting more points. But I also feel like because Toto also has known Kimi for I feel like forever at this point. He's practically like maybe a second father figure to him. So I do see it as lighting a fire under him to be like, get it together. You've got this. You know what you're capable of. Like, put the pedal to the metal and just go. To do what you know you can do. It's almost, I just was thinking it when you were saying it. It's almost funny because his podium, obviously he was still in school and he was doing pretty well at the beginning of the season. It's like, was he performing really well with a lot of things going on? Now he has like too much free time.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I mean, he was in that routine of being in school where you got to do your, do your homework, get studying. Like, now he's got a little more free time. Like, is he distracted? Like, who knows?
And because like Canada, he was impressive. That was an impressive drive from him, that race. Some of the overtakes he did, he deserved that podium, like, fully. It's not like people joking around that George sneaks up onto the podium doing like the bare minimum. But Kimi drove really good that weekend. So yeah, I think it's just alarming because it's coming from Toto. Now, if Kimi was on Red Bull and it's coming from Helmut Marko, I would be like, yeah, this is normal.
Yeah, or another day that ends in Y, where helmets crush the driver. Like, we get it.
Or he's in Alpine and it's Fabio saying these things. Like, yeah, this makes sense for who's talking. But I was curious to see what you thought about those quotes, because when I read them, I was like, oh, is Toto worried? But I don't think he's fully worried.
I think he's just trying to get him motivated, light a fire in him, however we want to phrase it.
Yeah. Okay. We kind of answered this before. Does McLaren continue to dominate this season? Yeah.
I mean, they can clinch this week.
I know. That's why I know Owen's definitely watching, because they can clinch this week.
Yeah. I mean, and especially given that, as we've been talking about, most teams have kind of waved the white flag on upgrades and have their eyes on 26 at this point. I mean, if you're Ferrari, are you technically alive? Can you technically catch them? Yes. Like, same with Red Bull, same with Mercedes. But you can't. I mean, even Helmut sounded incredibly optimistic in the past couple of days. He's like maybe we can win. Like, it wasn't like maybe we could catch McLaren. It was like maybe we can win another race or two. Like, I don't see McLaren slowing down. They'll clinch it this week. I am curious, and I know we'll probably talk about this, but I am curious to see.
I know exactly where you're going.
What it looks like once they've clinched. Like, are we going to continue to see? And we don't need to spend too much time on what happened in Monza and swapping back. I wrote my spiel. I get if, look, this is the team culture they're trying to build, and this is how they think they need to keep building and to keep it, then okay. But once you've clinched, like, you got to let them race, and you got to let the chips fall where they fall. Like,
that's exactly, when Frey sent her questions, that's exactly what she said. She said, where'd it go? And say maybe once they win constructors, they say F it and just go wild and let them battle it out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, you're not gonna, like, if Oscar like drives into the back of Lando or something like that, you're not gonna
pull a Max.
But like, racing things will happen. Like, if you get a situation where they've clinched and then you're in Singapore and Oscar has a slow stop and Lando benefits, like, I don't think you're gonna see them say, well, to be fair, we gotta switch back. Like, at that point, look, if the team comes first, and this is what they've been saying, and if, I'm going to take them at their word, the team comes first. Now the team has clinched the title. You are back-to-back Constructors Championships. Champions. Congratulations. Now you got to drivers to sort out, and race hard, but race fair. And if somebody gets a slow pit stop or they get a penalty or whatever the situation is, that's racing at that point. Like, the team part's done. Your priority is apparently the team. You got them to buy in. The drivers all said the right things to their credit, and they seem to believe it. Like, look, the team comes first. They gave us this opportunity, gave us this car. They gave us this rocket ship. We're in the fight for the constructors, which we'll probably win. We're both in the fight for the drivers. One of us is probably going to win that. Now you've won that team title. Let the chips fall where they may. Yeah.
Yeah. And it would be that. I hope it works out that way. That's like,
right.
You're going to get something
because what's the alternative? Like, if the alternative is they continue to sort of interject team orders into that, at some point, people are going to, not just outside, like, you saw it on F1 TV during Monza. You saw it, Max laughing about it, like when he was told about it. Like, people on the outside are going to question what they're doing. That's fine. Like, they shouldn't care about. But if you start getting like Lando and Oscar to like, if you continue to do this after you've clinched the constructors, then one of them might start to really fracture over it. That's what you don't want. And I have to believe that is probably their stated plan behind closed doors in the debriefs. Like, look, guys, once we've clinched the constructors, like, you're kind of on your own in that sense. We can't really intervene.
One side of the garage versus the other side of the garage.
Yeah.
And
may the best driver win. Like, and I remember Zach Brown telling me, look, we got the best driver pairing on the grid. And he said that in 23. And if they firmly believe that, you can't really put your thumb on the scale again after you've clinched the constructors. You want to keep it fair as you can until then. Great. Now the team thing's done. You gotta let them race. Yeah.
No, you saying just do they start to crack? I feel like we would hear from like Mark Webber first. If like stuff was going against Oscar, I feel like we'll hear from him before we hear from either of the drivers.
Yeah.
Especially given his history in the sport as well.
Given his history, right? That's such a great point.
Yeah.
Like, he would probably be the first one. Neither one of the drivers, like, look, they're both great at handling the media part of it. They're both extremely polished for the most part at handling the media part of it. Like, yeah, there have been times when, like, in the heat of the moment, they might be a little frustrated. They might say something off the cuff. Again, when you're driving 190 miles an hour, like, you might say something over the radio, or you might go radio silent because you're frustrated, as we've seen one or both of them do at times. But they're human. But they've been saying the right things. And I genuinely believe they do think, yes, like, the team comes first. Like, Lando, McLaren gave him a shot. And yes, there's also the side to the Lando story, which is he stuck with McLaren. Like, for a
he's
while,
growing with them.
Struggling. Yeah. He's growing with them. Like, Oscar also, like, look, McLaren gave him a shot. They've given both of these guys this incredible machinery these past 2 seasons. So I do think that at some level they genuinely believe that, like, yeah, this team's done right by us. We need to do right by them. But yeah, if it starts to, if they're having a big party in the garage on Sunday because they got the big trophy again, and then we turn around and they're in Singapore and we get another papaya rule situation, that's when I do think you might start. And I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
From Weber first.
Yeah. Or Joel Embiid, because he chimed in.
Yeah, which is okay. Well, is that like worlds absolutely collided for you?
Yeah,
seeing that?
I've known he's like randomly posted stuff before about watching things, and like it's been a known thing. He's kind of a fan, but he's been like dead silent on it for so long that when he posted, and I was like, Joel Embiid, I was like, are you watching?
Right.
I was like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, but yeah, it was colliding for real. You know what's actually colliding is Checo throwing out the first pitch at the Dodgers-Phillies game tomorrow. That's when I was like, why couldn't this been in Philly? I would have been there in 2 seconds.
I got that email and I immediately like contacted our Dodgers beat writer at SB Nation. I was like, are you going to this game? You got to go to this game. Or Checo's going to be there. Like, it's not the biggest, like the Pottery Barn thing blew my mind.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And again, like sometimes I post the PR pitches I get, but when I get that one, I was like, what are we doing here?
That's like, yeah, that's, I know it's exploding and into younger demographics for sure. When you're Pottery Barn kids and teens, the teen room, I literally was going to send to Owen and be like, do you want to redo your bedroom? Ange would have been like, no, I'm sorry, we're not.
Yeah, he's going to shut that one down pretty quickly.
Yeah. He just has to redo his office at their house, but he could pull inspiration from there. Let me see where else. This is one I came up with. Do we think we see any other drivers reach the podium for the first time? Because we have had. If they don't cover any of, if they have to cover all 3 in Drive to Survive. If not, I'm turning it off.
Yeah.
The only one I would hope and pray, because they have looked like they have a chance before, is Carlos or Alex. That's the only other team I could say maybe.
I could see Williams sneaking a podium in. Yeah, probably them. Who else? I want to check something here. Could Gabby sneak onto a podium?
Oh, that'd be insane. We could go from Stake scoring their points last year, like the last 2 races of the season, to 2 podiums this year. I mean, he's looked pretty good.
He's looked really good. I mean, and that's one of the weird storylines that I had in mind. Like, what's happened to Nico since Silverstone?
Yeah, he's like fallen off.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly.
It's weird. Like, and I think Gabby's out-qualified him in each of those 4 races. Like, obviously, had the bad luck in Monza. Like, didn't even start, but.
Yeah, that sucked. We were at the arcade, and they showed him pulling in, and Owen and I were both like, what did we miss? Like, because they didn't even play his radio right away. We were like, what's happening? But yeah, Gabby, I think, was Q3. He was Q3 in Monza.
Yeah.
And maybe the week before, but he has looked really good, Gabby. Maybe it's not finally clicking. It's like fully clicking. This is kind of going off. I'm so excited for him and Brazil this year. That's going to be unmatched.
That's going to be incredible.
It's going to be and with Franco still, they love Lewis so much. That crowd's going to be intense.
Yeah, Brazil's going to be great this year. I mean, could Yuki sneak on one?
I would love to see Yuki on the podium. I would hope he could do it.
I mean, we talked about a couple of tracks that could be good for Ferrari. I mean, a couple of tracks coming up that could be good for Red Bull too. I mean, we saw low downforce tracks, Vegas this week. You could give them some opportunities.
It's like he needs a good qualifying. He hasn't had the best qualifying.
Yeah, it's been just so like when you're trying to like fight through the field every Sunday, like you're making it so hard on yourself.
Well, especially like Baku and stuff. It's not gonna be the easiest place to pass.
Absolutely not. What's been his best quality this year?
Yugi, I feel like it was in Racing Bulls. He made it to Q3 a few times in Racing Bulls before they moved him up.
Yeah, I mean Australia.
Correct.
No, Spa, he got into Q3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean his best was Australia to start the year.
Dang.
Unless this is wrong. But yeah, I mean it's been he needs a good Saturday at some point this year. Like a really good Saturday. He's had like 1 or 2.
Yeah, he needs a really good one. Well, I can continue with Red Bull going on that. Do you think we see another Max win? I mean, Monza was like vintage 2022, 2023 Max win. That's what it felt like.
It really felt like that. Like, I mean, I don't think many people. I mean, I think, look, you can never count him out. Like, it's
Max.
But if you would have told me, say, Wednesday before that race, he was going to win by 19, no way. Like, I didn't see that coming, like, at all. Now maybe, hearing what he said after, maybe we should have seen it coming because he talks about how, look, circuits like that, they've still been good at, even with their recent struggles. But again, that gets us into Azerbaijan, Vegas. Like there will be similar circuits where you've got that low downforce aspect to it that could be good for them. So I think Max finds a way to win 1, maybe 2 more races. Certainly not enough to get anywhere close to the guys and the drivers, but I think they'll have some good circuits. I think, Helmut pointed to Singapore saying maybe they could win there. Even the year they were so dominant, they didn't win there.
Yeah, they could have.
It just doesn't suit them.
No, I would say Singapore's the one I would say they wouldn't. I don't see them winning. Or not even be like I see them both missing Max missing the podium that weekend fully as well. Yeah, definitely not Singapore. I think I could see one more win from him. I liked last week Monza when then you have the McLaren fiasco on the other side, people immediately were like, well, Max has to win every single race. Oscar has. I was like, but it's Max. It'd be a wild thing to see.
If there's somebody that could do it, it's him.
Max.
But I don't know if he has the car to do it. Like,
no, I don't think.
And if there's somebody that could wrangle the car, it's still Max.
Yeah.
But again, if this were, say, last season, McLaren was good, they weren't like this. Like, it's just that car is just a rocket ship, right?
That car is the RB19 in 2023.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
It's so fast. And then there's the reports that the Mercedes engine from next year is already somewhat the best, and I'm like, no, not again.
Yeah, I keep reading those reports, and like, it's the worst kept secret in the paddock.
Yeah.
If it's true, man, I might be back here again with another year of papaya rules.
And praying Ferrari can hold on to P2 maybe in the constructors. Let me see. So we kind of brought up Alpine. Alpine, Colapinto, what? I think they keep him, obviously, for the rest of the season at this point.
Yeah.
They could have easily taken him out when it was the rumored 5 races, and that's all he had. Do they have points? No, right? Pierre doesn't have any points. Or am I lying?
No, Pierre's got, they've got points, and Pierre's got all of them.
Pierre's has, yeah.
Yeah. Neither Jack nor Franco scored yet. Pierre's got 20.
Oh, yeah.
So if you look at this team standings, 1 through 9, you get down to Haas at 9, and then 10th might as well read Pierre Gasly.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do. I would be stunned if Franco was in that seat to start next year.
Same.
I don't think that will do that. I don't know where they go.
I don't either.
Obviously,
Paul Aaron hasn't looked awful.
They might do that. That would be the first name that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Are they waiting out some sort of? I mean, I guess if you start playing the shell game here, that's why you might say, "Oh, well, what about Yuki?" That's certainly. I just don't see Flavio and Yuki. I just don't see that pairing. I don't
think that works at all. No,
I don't think it works at all.
I don't see.
Do they give Jack another shot? I don't know. I don't know what they do. And
yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
they're the biggest question mark. Obviously, we know Pierre's not going anywhere. It's just that second seat. But it's who else could they call up? I don't know. That's where he doesn't have the license, the points. I was like, that's where Colton Herta should have gone for a full year experience before joining a new team. But which we can talk about that, because I do love that Colton Herta is coming to over here.
I think it's great. I mean, Paul probably is the next best option for them. I mean, unless Franco just suddenly blows the doors off everybody and suddenly, scores a couple of points here and there, that might be enough. All the rumblings about them, inquiring about Valtteri makes me think that that's kind of where
yeah.
And obviously with them going to Cadillac, that's not an option.
I don't even know if I would like to see Valtteri with Flavio.
Yeah.
We get too much of Bottas's personality now. We don't want to lose it.
Yeah, I think Cadillac's 2 drivers, that's going to be tremendous. It's going to be incredible content.
Even all 3 of them when they have
Colton with them, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean he loves doing the stuff for Andretti now, so I can see him doing he'll be fine with content for them. But I think the 3 of them are such a good trio to have to start out from the bottom.
Yeah. Do you think? I've had a lot of people say this to me, comments and people on social media. The plan is for Colton to get the spot in 27. 26 so. is the 2 veterans, and then they'll decide which one they keep and Colton slides into, provided he gets the points into a seat
Yeah.
for 27.
I think so. I don't see. I also, because it's also, I feel like the worst kept secret, because Andretti does have a hand in on that side, and he comes from, I mean, he was born and raised in Andretti, I feel like, an
Yeah.
IndyCar, so it does, I think he is the one they're trying to breed to put into that spot after however long Valtteri and Checo are there. So, I mean, 100% agree.
When they announced it in January 23, you know, they were trying to get on the grid, like, they all but said, look, it's for Colton, like a all-American team with an American driver. Like, they all but said it. So I do think that makes a lot of sense. Now it's just he's got to get the points to make that an option.
And I hope he has an easy time in F2. Those children don't terrorize him.
Right.
Especially with the way they drive, the way some of those races start. But IndyCar is also wild sometimes with race starts, so he might be used to it. Let me see, do I have any questions that I can bring up?
I am reading this interview right now that says, who's this? Ben Anderson saying that a Yuki Gasly parent at Alpine could work. I mean, we'd get a reunion there.
I would love to see them back together.
So we'd get that. It would be good for content.
It'd be great for content. The Alpine people will be thrilled. But I
will say that, yes, the Alpine people will be thrilled. I can't say that.
I just also feel like going to Franco, seeing what he was like in Williams last year, like personality-wise, I feel like there's a total difference with him and Alpine this year. So, like, Yuki does, I don't know if that's even saying something, but I just feel like, is it a little bit draining over there at that team, which I think for...
Well, I mean, I think, you know, the car is what it is.
Yeah.
They're trying to make the most of it. And, you know, for, 4 or 5 weeks, Franco is not the biggest story in F1, but one of them. I mean, thinking about how he performed pretty early. I mean, scored in Azerbaijan a year ago.
True.
I mean, it looked like, hey, he might be the next big thing. I mean, I remember being in the paddock in Austin, and, you know, you got his country's flags are everywhere. And it's like, you know, I remember Luke Smith trying to get him to go on the record to say that, like, Messi had reached out to him. Like, he was a big deal. And then you get crash after crash. And you do wonder if there's like a hangover effect in his mind. From the struggles last year to this year, that you add in the fact that he's under pressure to, you know, the 5 race thing, like you talked about earlier, and, you know, the car struggling, him struggling. It seems like it is draining in a bit, but maybe he makes it click down the stretch and does enough. I don't know, but I guess we've kind of coalesced around Franco, Paul, maybe Yuki as the 3, and Jack, as those are the 4 options. Rank them in some order.
Yeah. I feel like Paul maybe deserves a chance. I feel like he's been waiting in the wings for a while. I don't want to see him turn into like a Felipe Drogovic, who's always a reserve.
Who's always a reserve.
Yeah, and never gonna, like, he's just gonna continue to be a reserve. But I also would love to see Jack get a second chance, because I feel like he was, like I said, given the short end of the stick, because that car was not the greatest from the beginning of the season.
Great. He got 5 races in it.
Yeah,
for the plug pretty quickly.
But yeah, I just don't know if I love Yuki and Pierre together. I think they're great teammates, but I just don't know if I love Yuki at Alpine.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want to see Yuki become but again, like you said, if Yuki becomes a reserve for Aston Martin because of Honda, and it's just like,
again, there's that path to a championship for Yuki. I mean, I'm going to keep that dream alive as long as I can.
Until it happens.
Until it happens.
Retired. You're like, okay, I can give it up.
Like, look, he can come back, right? Like, still an option.
Yeah, right. True. You can pull Fernando Alonso and semi-retire and come back. All right, I'm gonna go to some of our thread questions. This was one I posted. Someone asked about Lewis, which we talked about a lot. A lot of people asked about Lewis. Oh, this is a good question. Will the FIA manage to be consistent in their decision on 2 race weekends in a row? I don't know what that fully means, but I think
mean,
if
I
they
think
could,
the
they could
answer
do
is
all 24 back to back to back.
right. Yeah, I think a lot of it is the sort of race and incident, cause it a collision
Mhm.
type penalties, driver guidelines, and all that stuff. Because, I mean, look, I think they ultimately got it right with Carlos and the right of review from that
Oh
incident
yeah.
with Dutch Grand Prix. Like they got it right in the end. And, as they noted, it didn't, the penalty didn't really change things given where they
Yeah.
finished. But there has been, I don't want to say a complete inconsistency with how they've made some of these rulings, but I feel like you get cars that are going, 130, 140 miles an hour into a corner. Sometimes something doesn't give,
Yeah.
and people don't always agree with the rulings. And, we always get in the post-race debriefs, media comments, like people saying, well, if this is how they're going to apply the rules and I'm going to have to drive differently, like I think there's still like lingering frustration no matter what happens. But that's sports, right? Like,
Yeah.
again, not to bring up the NFL, but a whole lot of people yelling about the tush push and false
Yeah.
starts and all sorts of stuff after that Chiefs-Eagles game on Sunday. Like, officiating, sometimes you disagree with it. Like,
Hmm.
you'd like it to be consistent week to week, race to race, especially in a sport where, again, you're going 180 miles an hour into a corner. It's not like a football play. Like, it's a little bit
Yeah.
different, a little more on the line, you might want to say. So you'd like to see it applied consistently. I think that's what that question's sort of getting at.
No, I agree. Yeah, you just want to hope for, like you said, more consistency because there has been. I feel like I was trying to think of something. Oh, well, I guess Lewis in the pit lane speeding, didn't Ollie do it like earlier on in the season? Yes, Ollie did it and he got like 10 place grid penalty, and then
Yeah.
sorry, something fell in here. My windows are open. It's very windy. I was like, I think someone's in here. But yeah, I just think the consistency. I think if they were more consistent, there wouldn't be as much outrage. But then I know people would find something else to be outraged about. So it's always
We live in an outrage society.
yeah,
Like, if we're not
exactly.
mad about, not mad about A, we'll be mad about B. Like,
Yeah.
that's the way it all works.
This is not a question. I just thought of it. Do you think, because Ollie's very close to living up to the Kevin Magnussen lore?
We are very close, aren't we? And we got Azerbaijan
Very.
and Singapore. I
Yeah.
think we're
He
gonna
used to drive
miss
clean.
him for a week.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, he
And
is
then who
very
drives?
close.
Joe? Is Joe Haas too? I'd love to see Joe
No,
back
they
in the
got
car. They have someone. Who is it?
Rio.
Oh
Hirakawa.
yeah. Oh yeah, which I would love. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, I can also
but
see it.
yeah, I
The way
mean,
he
maybe they'd
drives.
slide you over. But yeah, I do think that with what we've got coming up, we probably lose Ollie for a race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he's living up to the way he came into the race last year.
Right? Made it work. Well, I guess it was a
Stepping
little
in for
different. Like,
K-Mag.
really made it work at Ferrari, but a little different in K-Mag. But yeah,
Yeah,
the Hirakawa in a race would be kind of cool.
that would be very cool. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. He can wear the helmet his kids drew, which I think is the cutest helmet.
Yeah.
I think it's really cute. But yes, now moving on to some other questions. These are the ones that were answered to your posts from last week that you put up. So this first one is from our friends at the Midfield Pod. Does F1 have a playoff system? Question mark. So I guess NASCAR's going on with their playoff system.
Yeah. It's the
stuff.
playoff system like the old college football playoff system, which is every race is a playoff game. Every race is a playoff race, right?
Every race matters.
Yeah, every race matters. Like that's F1's playoff system.
I like it. I think that's the perfect. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Gotta win them all or do well at all of them.
Yeah, right. This next one's from Tanya. What is the best way for a newbie to actually attend their first race? It feels like the Hunger Games. What seats to pick, etc. I agree. It does definitely feel like the Hunger Games.
Yeah. I mean, I think the tracks that are starting to allow you to get the like different seat packages,
Yeah.
like Miami, where you can get like a different seat each day. I do like that idea because I mean, maybe it's not the worst kept secret or anything. You go to a race, it's not like you see it all.
Oh, yeah.
That's the downside of like there are incredible aspects to going to see an F1 race or an IndyCar race, NASCAR race, whatever, live, but you don't see everything. Like sometimes the sight lines might be better at like an oval, obviously, but like your average F1 track, there are things you're not going to see. Maybe you have to start thinking like, well, you want to see, you start thinking land like that's cool. But then you're missing some cool stuff around. That's why I was excited to see a lot of these tracks start offering those. Like, okay,
Yeah.
sit at the at Lando stand on Friday, and then start finish, and then sit at like Beckett's, like or whatever the track is, to have those different opportunities. That way, you get a little taste of different aspects of the track, different aspects of the layout. You can see different things. Maybe you'll see overtakes one day. Maybe you'll be on at the end of a straight, so you just see like pure speed on the other day. But
That's
yeah,
exactly. It is definitely the Hunger Games. It's
Yeah.
scary. I mean, watching the people react to them trying to get tickets for Silverstone in Australia next year, it seems like trying to get Taylor Swift tickets from a few years ago for the Eras tour.
Right.
When we went to Canada, obviously Miami last year we lucked out. We had the campus pass, so we got to go all over wherever there was the GA. But when I went with my parents for Canada, my dad walked away. He was like, that was 10 times better than I expected. He goes, yes, you don't see everything, but he's like, just being there is really, really cool. And Friday we sat across from the garages for FP1 and 2. And then Saturday we sat at the one chicane. And then Sunday we had GA. So we got a good like view from each one. And Canada is definitely very different because it's so wooded. Like you don't see any other part of the track. When I know I saw people, some of the European tracks, I think maybe Barcelona or somewhere in Spain, maybe Spain was a track. The one spot someone posted a photo, they could see like 6 corners from their grandstand because it's just so opened. I know Coda is always good. You can see a lot from wherever you're sitting, but I did really enjoy sitting in 3 different spots for race in Canada, taking it all in, and then like we're talking about going again this year, and my dad's like, if I could sit somewhere again, it'd be where we sat on Saturday because he thought it was the best. Like they slowed down a little bit and then they sped up and kept going, but the only spot I would have loved to sit at was the hairpin turn in Canada because that one's such an iconic hairpin turn, but yeah, there's so many grandstands down over there, but it's definitely overwhelming. I mean, Owen and I getting thrown and going into our first race in 24 hours. It was just very overwhelming and just the whole. It's not a vacation. It's exhausting race weekends. So exhausting because you're out in the elements if it's raining or if it's 1,000 degrees. But even like Miami has great this past year. Last year you could bring a water bottle in. This year you had to buy a water bottle there and then you could fill it up.
Yeah.
Canada, you could have brought in a cooler of food, like your own cooler of stuff in Canada. So it's just like, definitely reading what the track offers and stuff is also really helpful. I think I watched some TikToks of people that went before just to see everything. But if you can get tickets in a different spot each day, I do recommend.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah, it's almost as you wish they could do like each session. Like you get a different ticket for each session, but then I know people are gonna be like, no, I'm not moving. But I know when we walked up Friday, I knew we were across from the garages. I didn't know the lineup of how the garages were going. I didn't know exactly where we were. So when we walked up, and I looked across, and we were across from McLaren and Ferrari, and I was like, this is great.
That's the spot.
Yeah, and Owen wasn't there, so I FaceTimed him, and he opened it, and he was like, oh my god. I was like, sorry. And yeah, that was the coolest. That was a very cool spot. But yes. Oh, let me go back. Close it out. Let me see. Oh, this was a good one. Each team gets paid a certain amount based on how they finish in the championship each season. What is that money usually used for? Can they use any amount for research/development? Question mark. That was a good one.
That's a good one. They can use that, but that gets us into the cost cap, right? So, depending on how much you win, and the numbers, especially if you're at the front end of the field, are pretty big. You might not be able to use so much of that because, again, cost cap is what it is. Now, certain things are exempt from it, like high salaries, travel, like marketing, like things like that. But yeah, you can reinvest your winnings into development and let's bear in mind, for example, the teams that, say McLaren wins again, they get however many tens of millions of dollars for being constructors champion. That's going to be for their 27 car, basically, right? Because your 26 car, for the most part, is done by the time you're getting those win-ins. So it's really a future payment. So it's not really immediate. Now you could probably put it towards like some, other salaries that do come under the cost cap or whatever for the next year, or some
catering
R&D for improvement, catering, hot dogs. Person will always bring up the hot dogs. Upgrades and things like that for the next year's car. But the big stuff, that money would go for the 27 car.
Good answer. I knew that was going to be more of an answer that you could give than I could give. So.
I don't know. I think that's right.
No, that's
jumbled head right now. I think that's correct. Actually, when I did see that question, I did like research it. I was like, okay, well, this is one that I'm not going to be able to just like fly off the cuff with. So
it's not is Lewis still struggling?
It's not like which McLaren driver has the right mindset. Like, I mean, we can riff on that.
All right, I will ask you the most obvious question. Who do you think is winning the championship, Lando or Oscar?
I mean, I think Oscar. It's Oscar is just so clinical. And I remember it again from the first time I talked to Zach, and he told me, look, I got the best driver parent on the grid. And he talks about how they were so fast. They were both so fast, et cetera, et cetera. But then he talked about how, and this is an interesting thing to keep in mind with the earlier portion of the conversation about Kimi. Like Oscar, Zach brought up the fact that some young drivers try to win the race on Friday, and Oscar does it. And
I love his process.
Yeah, he builds it up, and now we're seeing him build it up, not just throughout the week from FP1 into quali, but during quali. I mean, there have been some qualies this year where it's like, he gets through to Q2, he gets through to Q3, and he's kind of like P4, P5, and then just turns it on, and then delivers the lap that he needs. And that same time, Lando's been P1 and FP1, P1 and FP2, P1 and FP3, P1 and Q1, and then Oscar gets him at the end. He's clinical. He's very clinical like that. Look, they're both world champion caliber drivers. They really are. In this, especially in this machinery. If we're here doing the show post-season in December and Lando wins the title, will I be surprised? No, absolutely not. They're separated by 31 points.
Yeah.
Thanks to a spot last time. And all it takes is, one dramatic weekend where suddenly it's Oscar that has a mechanical failure and Lando wins. And suddenly we're talking about a 6-point gap with 7 race weeks to go or whatever. And then certainly anything can happen. So Lando can certainly win. I think given the advantage and given how clinical and how fast Oscar has been, I think Oscar wins. But I wouldn't be surprised if either one wins. But that's me. What do you think? I
do think it's Oscar. I've been pretty Oscar because Owen's Lando, so I was going Oscar to mess with Owen at the beginning of the season, but very cool. But very quickly, was like, no, Oscar has what it takes. Like, he's just he's just, I don't know if he's just different on track, but like you said, like I remember at the beginning of the season, FP1, he'd be like P19. I'm like, what is he doing? Now I'm like, no, he's just taking it in, and he's getting his footing, and then he's just going. Yeah, he just locks in and goes, but I do truly believe, I think it's his. I would love if the battle goes all the way until Abu Dhabi, and it's a nail biter of a finish. I think everyone's hoping it goes to Abu Dhabi.
It might. It really might. I would be surprised if we get a title decided, say, before Vegas, because I do think this is going to go pretty deep into the season. I think more than anything else, and I don't think this is going to be an outrageous opinion by any stretch of the imagination. I just want it to be a fair fight that's decided on the track. Like, I know a lot of people are frustrated about the whole pie rules thing, and I get it. If we get a fair battle between these two that goes deep into the season, goes past Vegas, goes to December, it would be tremendous, I think, for the sport. Because we've had a couple of years where the drivers was like we were trying to make, Lando catch and Max last year happen, and it wasn't going to happen. Like,
that one always brings it up
too much. But we kept hoping against hope. This year we might legitimately get a very, very good, fascinating fight down to the end. And as long as it's fair, and the two drivers race hard but fair, it would be fantastic to see.
Yeah, I agree. I so hope. And I think, like we talked about earlier, if they win this, I mean, they're definitely going to. If they get the constructors this weekend, unless something insane happens, let them go. Just battle out on track, like you said. Let the racing do the talking, not papaya rules or the radios where you're dropping races from last year.
Just think about Hungary last year, right? It's like, okay, look, I mean, I get it. I get what you're trying to do. And again, we've talked about this before. We only get a portion of the radio.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some of those.
That's what
I think it was David Coulthard, who again has been there.
Yeah, exactly.
When he says it makes him uncomfortable, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, when he's like secondhand embarrassment listening to the radios, it's bad. I have to go back and listen to it, but it's the Maddie and Tommy, their podcast. They did like a huge breakdown of the radios last week, and I think they went back and I guess watched their onboards. They listened to stuff that wasn't even on the radio to try and break it down and explain it to people. And you're like, oh, okay. Like their strategy when you hear like Lando's radio and Oscar's radio, it wasn't as alarming as F1 TV made it. But
right, I mean, that's the
F1
thing
TV,
that we have to keep in the back of our minds. F1 TV is partly an entertainment product. Like there
that's
is
the
that
beginning of the season
aspect
with
to it.
Lewis and the radios.
Lewis is right, and Fred was so mad about it.
Yeah, rightfully so, because people were making it seem like Lewis was gonna up and quit the team with those radios. But I mean, that's one thing I don't think those two work together next year. I think they do I think someone comes in for Lewis. I just don't think they gel.
Yeah.
I don't have the greatest.
Yeah, you're probably about that.
Especially hearing Carlos on a different team now. Carlos does do a lot of dang strategizing when he's in that car talking and stuff. He's on the radio all the time. So it's like, they were maybe working well together because Ricky didn't have to have all the answers because Carlos had most of the answers already to go. But,
right.
I mean, I said I knew, I had a feeling there was going to be growing pains there. It's like moving on to breaking up with a boyfriend or whatever and moving on within a few months to someone new. There's going to be growing pains, but yeah. All right. I don't think there's any other ones. Did you have any other storylines, things to predict?
Rookie of the year. Who's your pick?
Isaac Hadjar. It just makes sense. Just makes sense, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I could make a case for Gabby.
Yeah. I mean, they've all been decently well, these rookies, but
they have. It's been impressive to see, all of them have their moments. Obviously, look, Oliver's, facing the penalty and things like that, but he still had his moments. I mean, Kimi's had his moments, but Isaac has just been so impressive. And again, you add in the context of how the season began. I think that certainly factors in his favor. And also it gets us back to where we started, which is whatever happens next with him, please don't let it ruin him. Like please.
Yeah, I know. He seems like such a pure soul now. Don't ruin the when he got on the podium, when he gets out of the car and doesn't know where to go at first, and Zach Brown is just
Zach Brown, that's kind of like tremendous. And then breaking the trophy, just tremendous.
They fixed that quick this year compared to I guess it just snapped. It
just kind of snapped in half. It wasn't like a full shatter like the Hungarian trophy, which was just perfect moment. I mean, that is beautiful. Yeah, Isaac. I think Isaac's the call there. He's been so good.
You know what I hope they make them do with the George, Alex, and Lando, how they made them do those PowerPoint presentations from those videos, because these group of rookies, I always think back to that interview they did with Laura Winters at the beginning, and she was like, looked like she was trying to rally together like preschoolers because they were not listening to her, cracking jokes. She was like, guys, I'm just trying to do my job.
That would be an incredible callback too, to make them do that. Like, now I'm laughing about that PowerPoint with Alex and George. Oh my gosh. Well,
George went full actually,
You started P19. So good.
George also going to a motorsport fancy dress party and dressed like he dresses. So that's George. He is quintessentially British. He's so English. It's hilarious. When you think of someone, I just think of him right away. But
I mean, he's quintessentially British. It's perfect.
Yeah. But yes. Okay, moving on to the last topic. Some Baku predictions. Want to hear, then we'll end here. Owen gave his last week, and now I'm blanking on who he said.
I mean, I think Charles Pole, because we talked about it. I mean, he's always so good here. But I do think we get a McLaren 1-2 in the race. I'm going to say, for the sake of excitement, we get a Lando win. I know Oscar obviously won last year, but I think we get a Lando win to kind of close the gap, and maybe that's more me hoping for page views than anything else. And I think Max sneaks on the podium too. I think that Red Bull will be strong here. And I do think Ferrari, they'll have, Charles, again, so good in quali here.
4 or 5.
But they'll go 4 or 5. Yeah. That's me.
I'm going with, I would love for the dang podium streak pole streak to continue, because he's had it for so many years here. I can see it being an Oscar Charles 1-2 on. Because I just think back to last year, their battles.
Yeah, that was one of the better battles.
Good.
All race. That was so good.
That was intense to watch. So I'm going to go Oscar P1, Charles P2. I'm going to go, I almost said Checo P3 because this is his track as well.
I mean, get in the streets. I mean.
And that's the ultimate street track podium right there.
That is the ultimate. I mean, I can't wait to see Checo back in this at this track next year in a Cadillac. Yeah. That's going to be tremendous to watch.
If they pull,
he could find a way to get that into the points. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'll definitely be. I can see him easily trying to be in the points. I'll go Oscar, Charles, Lando. I'll do that.
So that would make it a 41-point gap with 7 race weekends to go, but 3 sprint races.
Yeah.
And we're starting to get, that would get it to close to the Max Lando gap that we had last year. It ain't over, but it kind of feels like it's
kind of is. Yeah. Owen always talks about that. I think it's James Hinchcliffe being like, we built it up, but we all knew in the back of our minds, like, this is not actually going to happen. I think I would, if it came down to, like, even the last race or whatever, when if Oscar wins championship, but it's not when he like wins the race and it's another George winning in the race and his win gets overshadowed,
Right.
I'll crack up again. But yes, I think that's all I had. Do you have anything else to add?
Go Birds.
Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take Go Birds.
Yeah, I used to co-host an Eagles podcast actually, but I never said "Go Birds" at the end because it didn't feel right. Right? Like I'm not an Eagles fan. Like I can't steal "Go Birds," but now that I'm just kind of handing out, I can say "Go Birds."
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can say Go Birds. I'll take it. Yeah. You're saying to the right person too, so
right. It's not like I'm saying right to strangers on the street, you know.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me this week.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's always wonderful to have you. So when I were planning it, and I was like, I know who to ask. I was like, hopefully he'll say yes, but I know who to ask.
What was I gonna say? No.
I know. It worked out perfectly though. So thank you so much. We will be back next week. I'll be joined by Tasia to recap Baku. Hopefully it'll be a good race. We have something fun to talk about. I'm sure we will. The races this year have been a little chaotic. Pre, during, and post race. So yes, as always, all of our socials are at the bottom of the screen. They've been scrolling the entire time. Go give us a follow. Go read Mark's stuff over on SB Nation. Follow the new feed feature for some live posting. And yes, we will see you. Well, I'll see you next week. And thank you so much for joining me, Mark.
Thanks for having me.